This is the story of Grace, a girl who used to believe that life was too difficult, too confusing, and too overwhelming for someone like her. She convinced herself she had no skills, no discipline, no talent, and definitely no motivation. She wanted to grow, she wanted to succeed, but deep inside she believed she wasn't good enough, until the day she discovered the power of tiny changes, and her life transformed in the most beautiful way. Grace was the kind of girl who had big dreams, but very little action. Every morning, she woke up, picked her phone, and scrolled through social media. She watched other people creating things, learning skills, getting jobs, building YouTube channels, earning money. Meanwhile, she sat on her bed thinking, I'm not like them. I can't do all that. I'll start learning next week. Next week became next month. Next month became never. And slowly, she began to accept a lie, that she had nothing valuable to offer the world. One afternoon, Grace received a message. A small business needed a simple graphic design, a chance to earn a little money. She was excited, until she realized she didn't even know how to use Canva, not even the basics. She watched as the opportunity slipped away, and went to her friend Ngozi, who had taken time to learn the skill. Then it happened again. A company was hiring an assistant. They needed someone who knew Excel. Grace wanted the job, but she didn't even know how to format a simple table. Her heart broke a little that day. For the first time, she whispered to herself, "Why am I like this?" And for the first time, she cried. Days passed, and Grace's sadness became obvious. One evening, she sat outside her house with a defeated expression. That was when her elderly neighbor, Mr. Tunji, a retired lecturer who now ran online classes, walked by. He paused, looked at her gently, and asked, "Grace, what is troubling you?" She poured her heart out. The laziness, the lack of skill, the fear of starting, the feeling of being left behind. When she finished, he nodded slowly and said something that stayed with her forever. Value is built through tiny steps. You don't need big changes, my dear, just small ones, done daily. He explained the secret of micro-learning, learning for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but consistently. And he ended with this: if you can do a little today and a little tomorrow, your life will change without you noticing. That night, Grace made a decision. She wasn't going to become a professional in one day. She wasn't going to master 1,000 skills. She was simply going to start, just 5 minutes. So she opened YouTube and typed, "Learn Canva for beginners, 5 minutes." She watched the video. She tried a simple design. It looked funny. It looked childish. But when she finished, she smiled. For the first time in a long time, she felt proud of herself. The next day, she tried again. Another 5 minutes. Another tiny design. Still not perfect, but better than yesterday. Something was changing, not in her skills, but in her mind. She began to whisper, "Maybe I can learn. Maybe I'm not useless after all." Grace continued the tiny learning routine. 10 minutes of Canva, 1 Excel shortcut, 2 pages of a book, 5 minutes practicing speaking, 3 new ideas written down. Nothing big, nothing stressful, just tiny seeds, but planted every day. The more she learned, the more she wanted to learn. The more small wins she saw, the more she believed in herself. Her cousin needed a simple flyer. Grace made it. And for the first time in her life, someone paid her for her skill. It was a small amount, but it felt like 1,000,000 naira to her heart. Her friend needed help with Excel. Grace solved it easily. Her confidence began to bloom. She realized something powerful. The tiny things I'm learning are making me valuable. But growth is never a straight line. One week, Grace became overwhelmed. Her responsibilities piled up. She got tired. She skipped her learning routine. One day passed, then 2, then 5. Her old habits returned. She felt lazy again, unmotivated, frustrated. Standing in front of her laptop, she muttered, "Maybe I was fooling myself. Maybe I'm not meant to grow." Mr. Tunji noticed her silence. He asked her what happened. She confessed everything: the laziness, the failure, the disappointment. He listened, then said, "Falling is not failure. Refusing to rise is failure. Never miss 2 days in a row. Start small again, like the first day." His words lifted her spirit. She realized she didn't have to be perfect. She only had to return. That evening, Grace took a deep breath, and she opened Canva again. Not for 30 minutes, not for 1 hour, just 5 minutes. She made one small design, and that was enough to restart her fire. Weeks passed, and her tiny improvements began to compound. She became good at Canva. She learned basic video editing. She got comfortable with Excel. She communicated better. She became disciplined. She even started a small YouTube channel. People started asking, "Grace, can you help me with this design? Grace, do you take freelance work?" She was no longer lazy Grace. She was becoming valuable Grace. Then, her biggest opportunity came. A small company needed a full brand design: logo, flyers, social media posts. They asked if she was available. Her mind flashed back to the girl who didn't even know how to use Canva, who felt useless, who thought she was too lazy to learn anything. And then she looked at herself now, confident, skilled, improving every day. She said yes. She delivered the project, and she got paid more than she had ever earned in her life. That night, she sat on her bed, tears rolling down her cheeks, and whispered, "This is what growth feels like." Grace didn't change her life with perfection. She didn't change her life with pressure, and she didn't change it by trying to become a new person overnight. She changed her life through tiny learning, tiny skills, tiny improvements that slowly transformed into massive progress. Her message to you is simple. You don't have to do everything today. Just learn one tiny thing, one small skill, every day. One day, you will look in the mirror and not recognize who you've become.